We're coming up to it being 6 months since devastating earthquakes hit Turkey and Syria. More than 200,000 buildings, including blocks of flats, hospitals and schools, were destroyed or damaged. 50,000 people lost their lives. There were moments of joy and relief too, though, miraculous rescues of people who had been trapped under the rubble, sometimes for days. We can tell you this baby has now been adopted by her aunt and uncle, and she's been named after her mother, who died in the earthquake. Well, it's also been 6 months since the Disasters Emergency Committee, a group of charities in the UK, launched their appeal for donations. Today we learnt that it has now raised over £150 million. Well, a bit earlier I spoke to Saleh Saeed from the DEC, who visited the disaster sites last week, and I began by asking him what he saw.
What was very, very evident is the scale of the destruction, and even cities and towns that looked untouched, when you actually walk around the streets, you can actually see the scale of the damage. And there's entire streets, for example, in Marash, that have been condemned and are just waiting their turn, if you like, to be torn down. And whilst obviously we all witnessed and saw the people being crushed under buildings and everything else 6 months ago, what's still clear is that damage is still there and people are still having to recover. So this is a very long road to recovery.
Yeah, a really long road. I mean, good news today that the appeal has got to 150 million. But as you say, it's months, years, isn't it, always after earthquakes, and especially this one, isn't it?
Yeah, we're incredibly grateful to the very generous British people, the public, who've responded to our appeal for Turkey and Syria earthquake by donating an incredible £150 million. This is an enormous amount of money, and I think it's testimony to the generosity of the public. But also, as my visit has highlighted, this is really a major, major disaster for the people of Turkey and for the people of northwest Syria. Entire towns, entire villages have just disappeared overnight, and people's homes have gone. And as I've been going around and talking to people, people do want to move on. They do want to try to forget, but it's so hard because the visible scars, both on the buildings and on the people, and that trauma is still there. So it is a very long road to recovery, for sure.
And physical injuries as well. I know you met people who suffered, the worst injuries 6 months ago.
Yeah, we were very happy actually to meet people who are recovering, and I met, for example, a gentleman called Musa, who told us his story. He'd been trapped under the rubble of his home for 4 days. Sadly, his daughter, who was alongside him, lost her life. Now, Musa was rescued, but his arm was really badly crushed. Now, thanks to DEC funds, he's been going through physiotherapy. A mobile physiotherapy clinic has been visiting the campsite and the tented sites where they're currently living. And now he's got use of his right arm back thanks to that physiotherapy which has been funded through the DEC, and obviously the British people have made that possible. And he just told us how happy he feels that he's got the use of his right arm, because for him, that was about him working and about leading a happy and fulfilling life. And that's only been made possible thanks to the generosity of the British public. So a huge thank you to everyone that's contributed and made this work possible.
It's a long road to recovery, as you said, but amazing to hear about the work you're doing now and you've been doing for the last 6 months. Saleh Saeed, thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you.